Welcome back to Let's Play Darkest Dungeon. I'm your host, Timepants, and today we're going to be bringing the Abomination back. We're going to be taking a live Mathan, Donger, Borderman, and a level 2 Garen into a veteran level mission. Ooh, spooky. But I think it'll be alright. The thing that I'm not so happy about is that our Abomination is sick as a dog. I mean, he's really unhealthy right now. And that should concern us because, I mean, we're gonna try and stick with him for as long as we can. So let's hope and pray that he's actually gonna be fighting fit. Let's see here. I think just one is fine. We are actually going to be venturing in the light because our stress situation, again, on our Abomination here it's a little bad. It's a little bad. So we just want to make sure that we're gonna take good care of him here. And I'm kind of building a very traditional, boring party, but it's the one that worked for us. So
they must be flushed out.
Let's go ahead, camp, and let's see if we can make something happen here. So the more I think about it, the more sharpened spear really appeals to me. It does seem like a good opportunity for us to just get more critical hits. And the Hellion's natural critical hit stat it's really not that high. I'm sorry. Alright, it's really not that high, so this would be a good opportunity to get some. One thing that I am worried about, I decided that I might need the Arbalest's healing. She is only level 2 after all. So we went with the Legendary Bracer, and with Slow Draw, she is going to be going dead last on the first round every single time, basically no matter what. So we kind of have to pick and choose what we're going to do here. As far as I'm concerned, Psych Up is the more appealing choice, but let's just quickly calculate here. We can take Dark Strength and Psych Up, or we can take, let's see, Psych Up, Battle Trance, and then would we have anything else to do with the one remaining time? No, right? So this would be 2, 5. Interesting, but I don't know if it's great. Well, since we won't have much to do with the time here, maybe we just actually. Yeah, let's just go with old reliable here. Psych Up. Psych Up. Psych Up. Quickening. Quickening and Dark Strength. It's interesting. It's really interesting. I'm gonna do it. And careful for because this is really gonna hurt your ears. Ready? Oh, good lord. But this is an interesting combo. We haven't really made much use of the quickening, but it's a cool idea. I kind of like. Ooh boy. All right. So this does have the potential. Yep. This does have the potential to go really badly for us. Yeah, Call of the Deep is definitely not how we wanted this to start. So we're just gonna need to really back 2, forward 1, huh? Alright, then we're just going to hang out back here until we figure out what we're going to do. Alright, you, back, you. Might it be worth it to stun? I don't know. I'm hoping we get the bleed. No. Crap. And, yeah, this is what we did not want to happen. Like, very specifically, we didn't want it to go like this. So far, it hasn't been horrible, but, you know, anything can happen, and, yeah, stuff like this means that what that anything tends to be is really bad. I don't know. Maybe we just go, yes, alright, we do get a kill. A little stress relief would be even better. Okay. And let's take this one out. Bleed, bleed, bleed. No. Interesting. Alright, cool.
Give them no quarter.
I'm actually not that impressed with her accuracy. I guess that is probably because she is level 2 rather than level level 3 or 4 like we would be here. Manacles. Probably yes. I mean, good. Yes, that stun's going to buy us some time. And I think we get back and start trying to heal. This is going to be, yeah, a lot of damage. It's not devastating yet, but we definitely need to, just staunch the bleeding, do everything we can to try and get this under control. We should probably take a quick look at his, we should take a quick look at Mortimer's skill loadout here. Make sure that he does have what we need going forward. He does not. Alright, good to know. We just need to remember, after this fight, no matter what happens, we are going to switch out his skills. Good. And this should be a kill. Great. Alright, and a little stress relief.
Has no
Cool.
merit.
Alright, that,
Inordinate exsanguination be considered a virtue?
as far as, like, ambush encounters go, that definitely, it could have gone a lot worse. So, let's not linger. Stands in one place while he gets killed by a trap. That's great. And the stress, too. Oh my god. Alright, so one thing that I have been thinking a lot about is, well, that is the best scouting map I've ever seen. Gosh, do we want to try? I mean, it's a long way to backtrack. But it's a long way out of our way. I think maybe we'll go this way and go to this terminal first and hope that there's not an encounter here. It's a tough call. It really is a tough call. We're actually, I mean, we have to take 2 encounters on the way there, but we do know they won't be ambushes because we have them on the map. I'll think about it. But yeah, I have been thinking a lot about the fact that up until very, very recently, it has basically been sort of common knowledge or common practice. I think this has a move now. That's not great. It's been basically common knowledge that the way that you should initiate a medium level dungeon is basically to, like, immediately camp, like we have been doing. And I still don't think that it's really a bad idea to do so. Like, you'd be hard pressed to really find somebody who would try to make a strong case that, I mean, in a game especially like Darkest Dungeon, it does not behoove you to go out and, go out with your best foot forward, really try and just initiate any combat as powerfully as effectively as you possibly can, and come hell or high water, you want to inflict as much damage as you possibly can. Put your party in the best possible situation that they can have to succeed. And yeah, I don't think that's wrong. I don't think that notion has been fully debunked yet. I still think, despite the fact that now having that camping log in your inventory, having that available to be able to just be able to take a break, gather yourself, adjust your own, adjust your skills, okay, he needs to, alright, remember, Vulnerability hacks. Yeah, to be able to adjust your skills to remove a significant amount of debuffs. You know, there are a lot of camping, or there are a lot of debuffs now that are, in fact, just one, like, I mean, how do I put this? There are enough debuffs now that are removed by camping only, like, that, yeah, it's definitely worthwhile to at least consider having that camping log around, so you can wipe those off you, you know, if the worst should occur. Especially something like getting knocked to death's door. Now that death's door debuff does not fall off, you have to live with that. That is your, yeah, that is yeah, your burden until either you camp or until you complete the dungeon. And that's intense, man. To have to try and deal with that. It's yeah, it's definitely an interesting new dimension to Darkest Dungeon, and they have consistently, with every iteration of this game, made it harder. That is no exception. But that said, I still think that, yeah, the best course of action is to pretty much always camp as soon as the dungeon starts. So here's what I was thinking, and let me know what you think. Anyone out there watching? Well, this is interesting. Yeah, let me know what you think. Here's my idea.
Mechanical hazards possessed by evil intent.
There's still one class that remains, you know, unrevealed, still just purely theoretical. The twinkle in some red hook developer's eye. But I think it's a great idea, and here's why. I was running this idea by a friend of mine this past weekend and I think I mentioned it before, that I think that the merchant should basically be a camping class. We have already, you know, some non-combat classes, or at least one. The Houndmaster is a non-combat class. We have support classes. Things like the Plague Doctor is a really good example of a support class. But we don't really have a class that is designed to purely take advantage of the camping mechanic. And so, you know, I know there's a lot of talk about, you know, somebody from Red Hook said that one of their big ideas is to have the merchant have, you know, some skill where he's able to, be careful, where he's able to consume a large amount of treasure, or maybe not a large amount of treasure, but consume an amount of treasure and use it as like one big devastating attack. And that's a pretty cool idea, and I really like that. But yeah, something else that I was thinking about that I thought might also be cool is if, yeah, when the party camps, the merchant is able to get a lot of really good camping buffs for a very low amount of rest, like a very low rest cost. But on the flip side, he requires the party to pay treasure. And of course that can't be treasure from your coffer back in the town. That's treasure from the loot that you have amassed in the dungeon. So you have sort of this, especially for like, we may come back. We'll see how we're doing here. But yeah, you may find yourself in you know, a situation where you're going to be tackling a medium level dungeon. This is scary. And especially, something like the Cove or even the Darkest Dungeon, where you're going to be encountering stiff resistance. Well, I mean, do you make yourself vulnerable to potentially? Do you make yourself vulnerable to potentially getting overwhelmed early in your run by not camping right when you arrive, and instead opting to try and just try and push forward, knowing that there's a very real possibility that you could find yourself overmatched and pretty much defenseless. There are a few encounters here, like for example those four fishmen. Like that's a really, really difficult encounter, even when you're prepared, right? That's a really difficult encounter to try and deal with. You're basically going to take damage, especially if you haven't built your party with around a lot of trinkets that that provide damage, because you were assuming that you would get those big damage camping buffs, right? Do we shapeshift back? Yeah, I think we do. So you kind of push yourself to go into the dungeon. Just a few rooms, so you can start getting, a lot of treasure. But the thing about Darkest Dungeon is, and we have noticed this a lot, even with our darkness runs. And here's the other thing: this particular, a party or a merchant that requires treasure in exchange for really good camping buffs. Well, if you want to get that treasure as fast as possible, what are you gonna do, right?
Thirsting for blood.
You're gonna run in darkness, right? So now there's this tension where you really do want to avail yourself to risk, and there is no guarantee that you're actually going to get the treasure that you seek, quickly enough that you'll be able to make use of those camping buffs. And if so, if not, if you don't get those camping buffs when you need them, well, then you just went through a lot of the dungeon on your own, without camping buffs. Probably took a lot more damage than you needed to. Probably took a lot more stress than you needed to. And now, on top of everything, you didn't get your buffs anyway. So, yeah, I really like the... Yeah, I really like the idea. I think it's cool, and I think that Darkest Dungeon definitely has a lot of really good combat classes. I mean, we have a great example right here. We have a lot of really, really great combat classes. We don't need more. And I don't think that the game is necessarily going to be improved by an abundance of different ways to deal damage. I don't think that's the most interesting thing in Darkest Dungeon, like, by far. The Hellion, pretty cool class, but I mean, really strong, but not really, I would say, the most interesting or compelling class in Darkest Dungeon. And I don't think I'm really saying anything controversial there, right? I don't think I'm really going out on a limb, staking my reputation on my assertion that the Hellion is not that interesting, especially when compared to a class like, for instance, the Houndmaster, right? A class that is basically designed around the idea of just defending his party, building his dodge score up, and just basically creating a wall in front of the party and just drawing the battle out for as long as he can, and just letting your party whittle the enemy down. That's something that didn't exist before, right? The Plague Doctor, very interesting idea for a class, because I did not adjust my party at all. That's pathetic. Okay, this is still probably okay. And this is actually fine if he gets moved. Darn. But yeah, I think the most interesting classes in Darkest Dungeon are not the damage dealers. And I mean, that's fine. The game has great diversity. But yeah, I think camping is one of those. Camping is one of those things that Red Hook actually said that they wanted to look into, and they wanted to kind of revise how the camping strategy worked, how players approached the idea of using camping, and they did want to try and de-emphasize or try and find a way to remove the camp first mentality as effectively as they could, to try and find a way to. The way that Red Hook seems to be approaching the design of this game moving forward, especially like post Corpse and Hound, or from Corpse and Hound onward, they really do seem to have this idea that they want to sort of home in on the easiest possible strategy, or like the most obvious possible strategy that's very safe, that doesn't carry a great deal of risk, and they want to eliminate it. They want to remove the idea. I think we can ditch the shovels. They want to remove the idea that anything like that a dungeon run can possibly be safe or a sure thing. And I can definitely appreciate that. I really do like that. Thus far, Red Hook really has done, really has done a lot to keep the game varied and really kind of build this, this motif and this, this idea of a dungeon run being not so much a raid to get loot as it is a running, fighting retreat. And yeah, I think the idea of having to really prioritize when exactly you camp, when exactly when exactly it's safe to hold out for more treasure, and when it's prudent to push on. Like, that's a really engaging level of mechanical depth that I don't think can necessarily be incentivized by adding difficulty. Even if it's adding difficulty in ways that only camping can resolve, such as making debuffs last until camp, increasing stress output from things like traps and enemies. I don't think that there is really a reasonable way that Red Hook can do those things to such an extent that that it actually meaningfully changes the dynamic of the current dynamic of camp first. And my reasoning for that is basically that, like I said at the beginning, it just the very nature of something being, a dungeon run being risky, the very nature of that just naturally incentivizes going in as strong as you possibly can. not allowing the enemies to really ever secure a foothold in a battle. And yeah, I don't think you're ever going to be able to convince players that that's not the correct way to approach things, because frankly, I don't know as it's possible to actually I don't know if it's actually possible to do that without making the game like so unreasonably hard that it's not even like fun anymore. I suppose that possibility exists. But the way that I think you can do it is to make players get greedy. Overconfidence is, as they say, a slow and insidious killer. So, yeah, I'd like to see that. I think that has the potential to be really, really cool and interesting. Actually, let's see here. Knockback of 2. Okay. I don't know. See, it's interesting because those debuffs are kind of cool, but I don't know if they're really good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if there's really, like, unless I needed knockback to get an enemy out of the front row, I don't know if I would ever really use that. So what am I thinking here? Transform and stun, and then go after this guy because he's no longer protected, and we can tick off one of his protection rounds. Yeah, that sounds good. But anyway, that's my own 2 cents on how I ideally would like to see merchants work. And you know what? I could be completely wrong. And maybe there is actually a much more interesting way to handle merchants, and maybe Red Hook has found that, and when they have the post-release, when they have the post-release follow-up that does include the merchant, we'll find out that, wow, no, they actually had a really, really good idea here, and yeah, none of us could have possibly seen it coming. That'd be great. That'd be awesome, and yeah, it's totally within the realm of possibility. So, anyway, yeah, I'm really excited. Oh no!
In a single strike.
Oh dear! Oh dear! All right, so you gotta go. Huh, well, this quickly took a turn. Let's see. Crap. This is not good. I think we just swing. I don't think stun is the right idea. Death's Door. Oh, wow. I didn't even realize that the Death's Door is until the end of the quest, not until the end of... Or not until... I thought it was until camp. Until the end of the quest. Jeez. Alright, well, we have to be careful. Fortunately, we got really lucky there in the home stretch, and we did actually end up getting out of here with less stress overall than we did when we started. So that was more or less by the numbers. I think I kind of let things go at the end. I should have had a live Mathan just eat before we... Alright, this is getting out of control. He's gotta go to the doctor. So we're gonna shelve Donger here again, so he can get well. I think he's got 3 horrible diseases.
Let me share with you the
right?
terrible wonders I have come to know.
3 horrible, 2, but still very horrible. And I am amazed that we haven't had hysterical blindness yet, but I'm not going to chance it. So yeah, we are going to shelve Donger for the next episode. stay tuned. We'll find a new interesting party to run next time. We had some cool ones here. I liked this. Too bad it was garbage. But yeah, let's stop it here. And yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.